Good afternoon, everybody. Okay. We're back up and running. Must have been about a month or so now since I was here. So, as usual, I'm a little bit early to check, make sure the picture's okay and the sound's okay. We've got 3 in the house. Is everything okay? Can you hear and see me? Fingers crossed that everything works. I'll just test my messages. There we go. There we go. I can send messages as well. So 6 in the house. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. As you can see, nice blue sky today. Sort of the rainy season's coming to an end, so hopefully cooler weather's on the way. By the end of October, the rain should be totally stopped. Let's go. Good morning from North Devon. Good morning, North Devon. Thanks so much for joining us. Because the clocks go back in a couple of weeks. Is it 20th or 21st, something like that? So you've got to, you get an extra hour in bed, but the nights are drawing in, things like that. That's one thing I didn't like about the UK, about the nights drawing in and getting chillier. So I've got my Australian retiring and living the dream mug today. So we've got a few things to talk about, basically, because I haven't done this for a month. So this is your chance to ask any questions you want. So your chance, I've been here for, everybody knows if they've been watching my channel, I've been here for 13 years. So I know a thing or two about living here in Thailand. Now, as I say, there's a few things that are happening in Thailand at the minute. I seem to think that the Thai government are shooting themselves in the foot. They want the tourists. They want the people to come and retire here, but in my mind, they're sort of shooting themselves in the foot and dissuading people coming here to Thailand. And we'll go through a little bit about that a little bit later on in the video. But sadly, the easy days have gone for now, I think. The easy visas and the use of the agents and things like that, they are drastically and severely cutting down on that. And again, I've got some stories about that. A couple of my friends who've suffered from the banks and things like that, but all in the discussion that we're going to talk about this morning. And it's still possible to do. And again, I'm going to come up with some solutions and things like that. Let's go. I'd like to ask you. No problem. Ask away. Good morning, Benjamin Law. Good morning, Les. Have a good one listening between jobs. Taxi driver, keep up the good work. Well, I hope you're busy today with the taxis. Well done. Thanks very much for watching. I plan to live in Thailand. I'd like to ask you what happens when I pass away. Well, as far as you're concerned, everything's over and done with. You don't have to worry about anything anymore. But what a fantastic question that is in reality, because a friend of mine has just passed away a couple of weeks or so ago now. Heart attack, 71 or 72-year-old, I think he was. And what a bit of a kerfuffle and bureaucracy nightmare that's caused. Now, what I have done, and again, this is what I suggest to everybody. This is my approach to it, because we all know we're going to pass away one day. So the more you can ease the pain of your wife, partner, or wherever, the easier it is for them to get over that. And it's never an easy thing. It's a traumatic thing, no matter when it happens. And it's the people that you leave behind have to face your lack of preparedness for this. So I'm going to go through what I've done. Now, as I say, most of the people that are watching will know that I'm married. So because I'm married, in some ways it makes life a little bit easier over here in Thailand. One, because if you're not married and you're a foreigner and you pass away, then your body will be held in the morgue at the hospital until you get the death certificate from the hospital, which then has to be translated into English or French or Italian, whichever country you're from, so they can register the death. And then you have to show it at the embassy. And once you've shown it at the embassy, then they'll give you a certificate to release the body from the hospital. So then you can do something about it. It's just a bureaucratic nightmare. But the fact that I'm married to a Thai lady, it means that I do away with all of that lot. She doesn't have to get permission from my next of kin, relatives, family or friends to do anything with my body. She's got full autonomy to be able to do whatever she wants. And we've already discussed this as far as I said, if you want to just put me in 2 black plastic bins and throw me in the sea or whatever. That's because once I've gone, I've gone. But the Thai being the Thai is going to be a 4-day ceremony, with the monks and up at their house and things like that. So we've already discussed that. But the more important issue about that is the paperwork. Because my wife gets my fire brigade pension when I pass, and that's for the rest of her life. So I asked the fire brigade pension providers to give me a form, which I've filled out on the event of my death. Now, I pre-filled it all in, including her name and number and address and stuff like that in English. And then she's photocopied it and put it in Thai as well. So when they send the information to her house, the address will be in Thai and in English. So that ensures that any correspondence is going to get to her. Also, the fact that she received my pension. Hang on, something's just popped up. Remind me tomorrow. Something just popped up on my screen and I've just deleted it. So yes, so what happens, because she gets me pension, every few years or so my pension will stop being paid into her bank, because then they want proof of life and proof of relationship and things like that. So if you didn't give her the telephone numbers or information that this pension is going to stop one day, and you have to phone this particular number up just to confirm that the situation's still the same, that you're not married and you're still alive, to carry on getting the pension. If I didn't tell her that, who would she call? Who would she ask for information for? So I'm not there to ask. So therefore, you've got to plan and prepare for everything, or every eventuality that might happen. Is that, who does she contact? Where does she go to ask for help? Also, family and friends, telephone numbers, email addresses and things like that. Basically telephone numbers, because majority of Thais can't write English, but at least telephone numbers so they can inform family and friends and things like that. Same as I've got a life insurance policy. They're going to require a copy of the death certificate as well. So I told my wife, I said, once you get the death certificate, you get 3 or 4 death certificates. It might be costly in the beginning, but my bank is going to ask for a death certificate, my insurance is going to ask for a death certificate, and my pension provider is going to ask for and if you wait, because if you only get 1 copy and you send it off to England, it might take a month or so before it actually comes back, if you ever get it back. So meantime, then your insurance, you can't do nothing with the life insurance, because they need a copy of the death certificate. So yeah, what a fantastic question to ask that was. What do you do in the case of a death? As you can see, there's a lot of things that you've got to talk with your partner, telephone calls, paperwork. And what we did, we went through the paperwork line by line, so she understood what needs to be done, and she wrote a little comment or note in Thai, because whatever it doesn't happen for 10 or 15 years, she might have forgotten what we talked about. So in a separate piece of paper, as we go through, do this, do this, do this, and do this, she's wrote it in Thai, so she's got an aid memoir to be able to go through it line by line. So yeah, that's quite a long-winded answer. I hope that's satisfactory to you, but it's inevitable. We're all going to pass one day. So thanks very much for the question. Very much appreciated. Okay, okie dokie. So, going on about passing away and things like that, let's try to hang on as long as we can. I did a video a few weeks ago now. I went for a CT scan in Bangkok, and that was for a CT scan for me lung and me heart. Now, I was watching a video today, and I'm a strong believer in be proactive as opposed to reactive. And the price isn't a lot to be able to maybe give yourself some peace of mind. I've got a Thai guy coming past now with his loudspeaker, so I won't talk over him because he's got a louder speaker than me. Selling fruit and durian. It's quite good because you get ice cream sellers, fruit sellers, they collect your scrap waste and putting awnings up and things like that. It really is going back like to the olden days. So anyway, being with regard to being looking after yourself and proactive as opposed to reactive, I watched a video this morning. Welsh Wyn in Pattaya went to the hospital in Jomtien, and he had a full bloods test and x-ray and things like that for about 5,000 baht, and it gave him all the answers that he was looking for. And the thing is, with things like that, even if you went every 2 years, for those people who can't afford the insurance over here, at least go and get yourself checked over, and then that's early warning as to what might be happening inside your body. Then you can take preventive action. No good being reactive for a heart attack or a stroke or things like that if there's ways and means of checking that this could be possible. So again, the cost of that was about 5,000 baht, and he said for the full test, which then the only test he didn't get done, I think he said, was prostate, and that full test is about 6,000 baht for all the information, and you sit down with the doctor afterwards and you go through the results. So that's Welsh Wyn. Have a look at his video with regard to getting all the bloods and chest x-ray and stuff done like that at the Jomtien hospital. I think it's well worth 5,000, but it's the price of a night out, isn't it, really? But that price of a night out could extend your life if you found something early. Don't be scared of doing stuff like that. Some people have said to me, I'd sooner not know. But if you can get another 5 or 10 or 15 years out of life, I'd sooner know. You know, I accept the inevitable. If I get a terminal illness, the sofa, that's my view over there, because the sun comes up over there and my sofa overlooks that. That's my final resting place, my sofa in this house here. I've no intentions of going back to England. If I got a terminal illness, I'll suck it up and live here. And I couldn't think of a better place to pass away than here. Hi, Les. Good to finally see you live. Okay, I know. Thanks very much, Bill, for turning up. Much appreciated. I'm using caps to see and read. Okay, no problem. If I didn't have them on, it's blurry. So again, spectacles. I had the operation laser treatment done, and they promised you everything. Oh, you'll never need glasses to read again. 8 years later, I've started to need glasses again. So old age comes to us all. Bill Simpson. My friend had to have a prostate examination. I asked him if he was going back again tomorrow for a second opinion, and a third and a fourth and a fifth. There's certain places in Pattaya where you can get that type of examination done, and it's quite pleasurable, so I've been told. Milking the prostate, I think it's called. But hey ho, we all have our, we all have our wants and needs and stuff like that. Okay, let's carry on. Again, this is covering all ground, really. Pension update. Everybody knows I'm helping this guy fight the injustice that and the fact that he's got his pension withheld, even though he was told by the Department of Work and Pensions that he would get his full pension increase and then it would be frozen at the new increase almost 10 months or so ago now. And I wrote a Freedom of Information action to give me the information that I requested. That was like 6 weeks ago. Have you heard anything from it? Not a thing, not even an acknowledgement. So I wrote to them again 2 weeks ago, and as of yet, still have no acknowledgement. So the department, or DWP, are a bunch of Keir Starmers, the same words that get mentioned for him. They just don't want to give you any of the information. So I'm going to complain, because there's a complaint procedure to go through. And my friend who had it denied, it's gone through the complaints department as well. He sent it maybe 4 weeks or so ago. And even from the complaints department, he's never had an acknowledgement, and he hasn't heard anything in return from them. So the Department of Work and Pensions, they're working for us, the taxpayers. But no, they don't want to give us any answers. They don't want to deal with it. So again, I'm going to still persist with it. I've got the bull by the horns now type of thing. So yes, I wish Skype was still on, because I'd be pestering them with the phone calls. Now, I thought I found another option to Skype that was getting an eSIM. And I made one call to the UK, and it was quite reasonable. But I had to ring up my doctors in England. And you know what it's like ringing the doctor's surgery. You're on hold. Your call is very important to us. Please hold the line. And I used $5 within 5 minutes or 6 minutes, I think it was. So that's not the same as what Skype was. Skype was fantastic. So that's something else that I'm going to be looking into. And as soon as I find a cheap way of ringing the UK, then I'll be pestering the tax department or the DWP again. And I'll be like a little flea in his ear, constantly phoning up for answers. And I think it's shocking, the fact that they don't even give you an acknowledgement to say that they've received it anymore. And that was done via their website. So it's not an email address. It's like a contact form via their. So they've definitely got it, because as soon as you submit it, they say thank you for submitting. So they've got it. DWP. So, yep, so that's the update on the pensions for all those people who are still asking me as to what's happening. You know, it's gone very quiet. It's gone very quiet because I haven't heard anything from them. But again, I'm a year away now. I can claim, in fact, it's a year 3 days ago that I can apply for my pension, and I can't wait for that. You know, I don't want to be 66, but I also now, because I'm within spitting distance of it, looking forward to getting the increase, which is going to be spent on holidays and things like that. Talking about holidays, going abroad and things like that, again, I've looked into this. A guy that I know foolishly went on holiday out of this country. He's got no medical insurance at all over in this country, but he has got a fair bit of money. He's not a poor man, but he hasn't taken any medical insurance from this country. Like, I'm with Pacific Cross, and Pacific Cross cover me for holidays up to 90 days outside of this country, everywhere but America. America, most expensive place in the world for treatment. So we're planning on going next year to Malaysia and also going to Korea. Pardon me. Or might be Korea in a year in January. So yeah, just over a year and a half away. We're going to Korea, and we're going to Malaysia, we're going to Vietnam. So like 2 or 3 holidays within the year. And my wife hasn't got any insurance because she's covered by the local government system. So her medical treatment would be cheap anyway. It's not expensive. So she's decided, as she's still under 40, she doesn't require anything medical insurance. She's got accident insurance, but that's about it. So like my foolish friend who went abroad, has been hospitalized in another country. So therefore, he's having to transfer money to this country that he's I won't say what country he's in, but it's not far away from here. For hospital treatment and things like that. If you had to stay in hospital, we're a whole nightmare. Whereas if you had travel insurance, it just covers all of that lot. So don't be skimping on any of your holidays if you're going abroad. We've just got an insurance policy. We're just reading through the fine details, and it's for a year, it's about 10,000 baht each. So it's about £225 each. And that covers me for a year and up to 180 days outside of Thailand for medical treatment and dentist treatment and accident and stuff like that. So again, we're going to be traveling a lot. So that is something else I'll be taking care of. So if you're doing the travels, even if you haven't got medical insurance over here, don't travel without travel insurance. Travel insurance, for me, I think is a must, and you've got to do it, because if you don't do it, and if you have an accident, you're in a whole heap of hot water. So yeah, go for that. Go for your travel insurance. Be safe and have a good time. Okay. And the next on the agenda is your driver's license, your motorbike license and your car license and things like that. People have heard rumours that it's going to be reduced from a 5-year license to a 2-year license. And as yet, it's still sort of up in the air. But I had it from quite a good source the other day that the 2-year license is just going to be for the tourists and things like that. If you're on the tourist visa or tourist exempt visa, and if you go and take a motorbike test and you want a driver's license, because you're not on either a DTV visa, a long stay visa, or retirement or marriage visa, you're not here a long time. So therefore, they look upon it, well, you don't need a license for 5 years, so we'll only give you it for 2 years. But if you're on a marriage visa, retirement visa, DTV visa, well, maybe even not the DTV visa, because again, there's still some anomalies in the DTV visa with regard to opening a bank account and things like that, which I'll come on to in just a minute. So if your license is only granted for 2 years, then that's just the way it is. That's the bureaucracy. Thailand at present are sort of stepping down or catching up on many, many, many things. And as I say, it's the people who come here all the time are going to sit and talk about it. And then they're going to tell other people, and all of these things that they're doing, they're all small things, but all them small things add up. You know, people are saying that people are leaving Thailand, people are going to various other countries, Vietnam, Cambodia and Laos. And yes, I can see it. There's people I know who are looking at going to different countries just because of the bank account details, because they've had the bank account frozen for nothing. Then they went into the bank to try and sort it out, give them all the information that they wanted, and they've just says, no, you can't have it. And I've got to say, talking to the various people that I know, it would appear that anybody who's obtained a visa via a visa agent, where the 800,000 goes in and out the same day, these are the accounts that they're stamping down on. So I would suggest for those people that are using a visa agent, go through the income method. It might be too late now. You know, the horse might have bolted and it's too late. But if you go through the income method, putting 65,000, that's guaranteed money coming into your account every month. And that's far more legal, if you like, than using a visa agent. So the days of the visa agents may be over, or this might be just a reshuffle, and when all the dust settles down, everything will start coming back to normal again. Now, trying to open a bank account, whereas I used to say to people, you can come here on a tourist visa and then go and open a bank account and apply for your retirement visa here. That has changed a little bit. It's not as easy as what it used to be. There are still a couple of agents that say they can do these types of things. But when all's said and done, if the Bangkok Bank is the worst bank as far as closing accounts are concerned, and it's just like everything else. Once one bank does it, then the other banks are off to do it. Basically, it's looking for people who money laundering and things like that, and you can't blame Thailand for cutting back on that because they don't. There are world banks, and through a big organisation where they have to be squeaky clean. So they're just trying to put their own house in order, but there's a lot of people caught in the rush, if you like. So have a look at various other ways of obtaining a bank account. If you're going to come over here for a retirement visa, actually apply for the O visa based on retirement in your own country. And then that's like an E visa, which gives you 90 days. And you'll have sort of no trouble opening a bank account because they can see the intentions of you opening a bank. The banks can see that you have the intentions of staying here full time. There's plenty of other hoops to jump through as well, where you need to have a lease agreement. And if you have it for a year, that's the better, but the month is the minimum. Also, you need details of the landlord to say that they actually own the house that you're going to be renting, their ID card. So there's a whole heap of paperwork that needs to be done, far more paperwork now than they have never needed before. But it's just that they're clamping down. They really, really are clamping down on all of these things, which has a detrimental effect to everybody else, because then everybody's saying, oh, well, I'm going to go live somewhere else. Do I think the dust will settle? I think once they discover that the Thai tourism is broken, we're coming up to high season now. Depending on what the numbers are for the high season, they may alter one or two things next year. But I think they're going to suffer big, I think, at this high season, because there's so many people already are talking about it. There's sort of not many positives on Thailand at the minute as far as coming here, retiring here, living here. A lot of the vloggers that do Thailand-based YouTube content are saying everybody's leaving. I'm still one of the positive guys, is if you do everything correctly here, then you can stay here. But for those people who try to book the system and things like that, it can sort of backfire on you. I mean, I have suggested a number of ways in my previous videos, but they've all been legal. There's nothing shady about it. It's all been legal, but it's different ways to circumvent the system. Oh, let's have a look. Retired on the beach. Hi, Les from Koh Samui. I'm currently sorting out my new passport with an agent. It's now in Bangkok, waiting to collect. The service is not expensive and you don't have to leave your house. Oh, that's quite good. I mean, when I went back to the UK, I lost 1.5 years on my passport, but it was much easier for me to go and do it in the UK than it was to try and redo it here. I was going back to the UK anyway. But Koh Samui, me and the wife are coming to Koh Samui for Christmas. Koh Samui, and then we're going to Koh Lanta for New Year. So we're looking forward to that. You don't have to pay until it's back in my hand. Oh, that's good. Looks like a great. Well, fingers crossed. Everything goes well for you. But this is Thailand. They might say, "Oh, we can do it in 2 weeks." There was a big kerfuffle a couple of so years ago. An agent in Phuket area was doing people's visas, so they were taking people's passports, and they ran away with the passports and the money. So that caused them a great deal of annoyance. Just have some water. So yeah, other people giving you recommendations and things like that. Always go by recommendations as opposed to just like, oh, the first one you found, he'll do. Because recommendations are always the best, for sure. Hi Les, I use 2 apps to call the UK. One is called Yola, and the other is called Talk 36. Both cost less than 10 cents per minute to mobiles and land. Oh, that's good. Right, I'll write that down. Thank you very much for that. Right, Yola and Talk 36. Okay, thanks very much for that. It's nice to get some information back from others as well. I don't call the UK very often because I always use WhatsApp to call my sister, or Facebook Messenger to call my sister. So she's the only person I talk to really in the UK. So no need for any phone calls. And my doctor, trying to keep certain things open in the UK. My doctor sent me a letter to my sister's house saying, please contact us at your earliest convenience. So when I rang her up, they said, oh, we've been trying to get her in touch with her for 6 months. I said, I'm traveling about. I said, I'm out of the country. And instantly she said, how long are you out of the country for? I said, 6 months. I said, I do maybe 2 or 3 months at a time, back for a week, 2 or 3 months at a time, just to keep my doctor's details, if you like. Otherwise, if I'd have said to her, I live over in Thailand, I would have been struck off the list straight away. So I'm still paying tax in the UK. So I still think I'm entitled to various bits and pieces, and being able to contact my doctor, I think, is one of them. I don't use any services in the UK, and I won't be using the NHS services if anything happens to me. So yes, I think a little bit of white lies type of thing doesn't go far wrong, does this? I use WhatsApp or Messenger. Yeah, but the other person needs to be on WhatsApp or Messenger, doesn't it? But like the phone call that I want to make to the tax office, that's a landline number, and I do believe that the WhatsApp can't call landline numbers, or the Messenger can do. So, but I'll give you all and Talk 3360 a look at and see what we can do. Right, so going on to the next thing. Right, what was the next thing we're going to talk about? Right, I got waylaid. So going back onto the visa situation, the fact that if you can't get a retirement visa, because maybe you don't, hit all the criteria, certainly the 800,000. I know they say you can, with a visa, you can have a monthly income of 65,000, but you have to prove to them that that's been paid into account for 12 months. It used to be 2 months, and that was the income method, or 2 or 3 months. And then there used to be a combination method as well, where you had maybe 400,000 and the rest was income. So total 800,000. That's sort of gone by the wayside now. And the 65,000, before, I know people who got it on two months at 65,000 in the account, but now they're saying they need to see 12 months. Basically, what they're looking for to make sure that you can support yourself over here in Thailand, and you won't become a financial burden if you have a medical condition. So that's the reason why they're looking for the money, or the 800,000 into the bank. So the income method, that's a bit of like a chicken and egg, isn't it? You need a bank account to be able to put the 65,000 in, but they won't give you a bank account until you're applying for a visa and stuff like that. So I think what a sensible way to go is the DTV visa, Destination Thailand visa. This gives you a 5-year visa, albeit with a few little strings on it. But what's going on at the minute, there's a lot of knee-jerking and knee-shifting and altering positions. That will eventually blow over one day, and it won't take too long. And I think next year it'll all blow over and things will become much, much easier, because they will get a severe kicking with the numbers not coming here to Thailand this high season, I'm sure. So the Destination Thailand visa, for 10,000 baht, you can get a 5-year visa. So you just need to leave the country every 180 days. So you can fly out to somewhere and fly back wherever, and then it goes on for another 180 days. So every 180 days you leave the country and you come back. Whereas if you just do it on a normal tourist visa and you come here 60 days, you get it extended for another 30 days. So that's 90 days. Then you leave the country. You can only do that. You can only leave the country twice in a calendar year on the visa, tourist visa. And if you try to do it for the third time, you could be refused entry into Thailand because it looks to them that you're trying to scapegoat the system. So there are other alternatives out there, and I would say DTV visa is the way to go until things get sorted out, and certainly within the next year, I think it'll be sorted out. That still doesn't allow you to open up a bank account. So there's other ways that you're going to have to look at your bank details. But if you have a Wise card, then you can use the Wise card, transfer any money onto the Wise card, and then you can use your Wise card at any ATM. So every 180 days when you go to, say, Vietnam, Laos or Cambodia, you can still draw a little bit of money out in them countries. So you've always got cash in sort of a bank. And that's one of the ways that I would suggest people to do it, just until the dust settles. There's a lot of things going on in Thailand now at the minute with regard to false accounts, bogus accounts, money laundering, scams and stuff like that. So you can't blame Thailand for trying to cut down on that type of thing, but there are casualties, and we are the casualties, sadly. Again, a couple of other people who went to the bank and it's been frozen, people said, oh, get a yellow book, get a yellow book. Now, I've never had a yellow book, and touch wood, that my bank account, I've never had any problems with it. And I've had my bank account, and I opened my bank account via an agent maybe 10 years or so ago now. And I've never had any facial recognition photographs taken. It's never been frozen. I've never been called into the bank. So hopefully, touch wood, I've escaped the madness of it all. But I did a couple of years ago, went down, because I get charged 30 baht every time I use the ATM from the Bangkok bank. I get charged 30 baht for using it. So I'm thinking, well, why do I need to pay 30 baht? It's usually free. So I went down to the Bangkok bank in Rayong, or Banpay, where I live, and I asked them whether I could open up a bank account in Banpay so I could avoid paying this 30 baht. She said, no, you can't do it. You can't open two banks, even though it's a Bangkok bank, same bank. She said, you have to go down to Rayong, down to Pattaya, close your account, and then reopen it up here. And like 2 years ago, when all of this banking, debacle started, I think, I'll pay the 30 baht. So that's what I carried on doing. But my bank account is opened up in Pattaya, but I draw my money out through the ATM over here in Rayong. So maybe one day I'll get hauled in at the bank. Are agents to blame for the freezing of the bank accounts that they opened on tourist visas and visa waivers, and this is clearly not allowed? No, it's not. It's not the visa agents. No, it's not the visa agents' problem, because when all's said and done, it's circumventing the immigration rules for sure. But the banks have to give a letter to say that, yes, the funds are in your bank. So in some ways, it's the banks that have done it. It's the banks that have sanctioned this thing, because somebody is getting paid a little bit of money under the counter to say, yes, the funds are in the bank. And once you get that letter from the manager or manageress, then mysteriously that money disappears out of the bank. So technically, it's true, because yes, the money was in the account at the time of writing the letter. So the banks are covered, but just looking at the bank, it looks suspicious, doesn't it? And the authorities that are looking into this thing they've looked into it and said that's suspicious activity because there's 800,000 or 900,000 gone in the account. 30 minutes later, it's back out in the account. Suspicious activity. So they don't think that you're on a legal visa. So they play safe and cancel your account, and you can't blame them for doing that. So again, it's Thailand looking after Thailand. So you can't blame it for that, you know. And you know, we all know what's going on with dodgy visas and dodgy things going on in the UK, and here in Thailand, the same things applied, like student visas, Muay Thai visas, English language visas. They've cracked down on them as well. So they're playing the game over here, and they're cutting down on all of this, you know, greyness, if you like. And you can't blame them for it. It will settle down one day, but I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the visa agent's fault. They found a loophole and they're exploiting the loophole. And when all's said and done, the immigration officers know that loophole as well, and they're stamped to say, and they don't ask. There was a little stage where they used to put a little sticker in your book when you did your 90 days. At the first 90 days, you've got to show that you've still got your 800,000 in the bank. That frightened a lot of people, and that's why the agent said, "Listen, we'll do your 90 days for you, so you don't have to have the embarrassment of going down there and them asking you where the money was." It was just another money-making plan from the immigration and the agents by them saying, "We'll do your 90 days for you." It's all to do with you know, lining one's pockets, if you like. If there's a way, it's going to do it. Did it hurt anybody? I don't think it did, no. Because when all said and done, the people that were spending the money in Thailand, whether they have the visa through an agent or whether they have it, the proper funds for doing it, they're still spending money in Thailand. This is what Thailand is going to miss, in my mind, next year through the high season, because it's putting people off 100%. I'm relocating to Thailand next week. Way good for you, JR. Whereabouts are you going to in Thailand? Best wishes, and best wishes for your future plans. And Thailand still is a magical place to live. I still sing its praises. It's not all bad. You'll never hear me criticizing Thailand. It is what it is. You go with the flow, and you know, put all your ducks in a row, and you live a happy life here. But it's more likely because I'm not staying more than 35 days or so, and I travel for work. I quite missed that. I've been coming to Thailand since last July, when they gave me 60 visa, over 9 times already. Yeah. Again, as I say, it looks suspicious to them. So yeah, DTV visa covers a multitude of sins, if you like. Use contactless on your phone to evade 30 Baht fine. Oh, I've never tried that. To be fair, I'm going to look at one of them little cards that you can put in your wallet, because it's happening in Europe and also England, where these thieves have the contactless device that they just swipe up to you next to your wallet or your pocket and things, and they can withdraw money off your card. So I don't do contactless, and I don't do, I pay everything by cash. I never ever pay anything by card. And call me old fashioned if you like, but I feel the pain of taking the cash out of my wallet and paying for it by cash. I know it's gone then. Whereas if you pay everything by your bank card, it's just like ding, 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 ding. Okay, it comes up on your phone. But I know how much money I've got left in the bank, and I know how much money I've got left in my wallet. So I'm old fashioned like that, I suppose. A combination of 400,000 and then 400, it used to be acceptable many years ago. Yes, that was the combination method. And it was fantastic. It really, really was. But they've stopped that now. Even though I've seen it advertised, you know, from immigration. Not all immigration officers sing from the same hymn sheet. So the best people to ask is the immigration office. Go and ask them, what is allowable. And if they say, yes, it's still available, you can do it that way, then all fair and well. Jackson, oh, hello. Hi, Les. Account is now reopened. They said my rental contract didn't have the end date. So once I give them a new contract, a week later, it was unfrozen. Oh, good to hear. Because as I say, you're the third friend that I've got who had problems, and they've all been similar. I mean, the other guy has just had his account frozen, and he's in Vietnam at the minute. He just got a text message saying your account has now been frozen, so he can't get any money out. So he's at transfer money to Wise. So thankfully, he took his Wise card with him. But good to see that you've got your bank account opened. Well done. Yeah, the combination method was a good way. I can't see why they've stopped that. Basically, the banks want your 800,000 in the bank account, and that's good for the UK. Good for the UK. It's good for Thailand banks, and it's good for the government, isn't it? They've got your money, and they give you next to nothing for it. In UK, over 60 new travel ID before November 25th. UK travel affects 11 million people. ID travel UK. Driving license and National Express insurance needed. Yeah, they're doing also. Yeah, the ID cards, they will impose that onto everybody, I think, in the UK. Question, how can one make sure that Wise transfer shown as international transfer in Thai bank? Okay, now I can answer this. The bank, okay, it's with Bangkok Bank. Bangkok Bank and Wise had this agreement, and they had, when you transfer your money over, it'll say what is the reason for your transfer, and there's a number of reasons to, income, pay for the house, buy something, blah blah. But you have to scroll right the way down to the bottom, and right at the bottom it says to maintain the Thai protocol. I forget exactly the word. I just do it automatically now, but that's by putting that. Then that sends a message to Wise and Bangkok Bank, and then it comes up as to that it is an international transfer, foreign FT. It's labelled that foreign transfer. So that's to do with Wise. Reason for sending the money. Scroll right the way down at the bottom, and it's to maintain whatever it was to live in Thailand. And if you do that, it comes up with foreign transfer. But with Capricorn Bank, I don't know whether it does it all the time, whether it comes up with a foreign transfer. But the other way to get round to that, and this is what I'm expecting also, because I do my marriage visa renewal in December, is that they will ask for, even though it says foreign transfer, they want the bank statements for a year. They want to see the bank book updated regularly, which we do now. And then last year, because there was two that weren't foreign transfer, I had to download the statement from Wise to say that amount of money came from my UK account into my bank, and from my bank over to the Bangkok Bank. So this year I'm going to preempt it, and I'm going to print out the whole 12-month statement from Wise, and that shows how much it came from Barclays Bank over to Wise, and then from Wise to Thailand. So that is the other way around it, because then you've got proof that it's come from your account in the UK or America or Australia, wherever you're from, and it's come from your home country into Wise, and then from Wise over to the bank. So that's how you can get around the system if it doesn't come up with foreign transfer. But try that scroll, and when you look into your bank book after you get it updated, it should have a FT, foreign transfer. But if it doesn't have a FT, go through that process, download all the bank statements, And when you're going into the immigration, that will suffice because there's no other way around it. Hi Les, greetings from Bang Sang Beach, Chonburi. Hello. I have a business visa and a work permit and don't need to have money in the Thai bank account. No problems with my 2 bank accounts or Casagon Bank or SCB. Work visas. Again, I've no idea, business visa or work, I've no idea how that works and what it can be done. But yeah, there's always some other way of doing it. But I don't want to work. I'm happy just retired with my retirement visa, marriage visa, which is even cheaper than retirement visa. But well done, long may it last, and I hope you don't have any problems. But thanks very much for commenting. What's a Krayak marriage visa? Krayak? How does that work? A Krayak marriage visa? I've not heard of a Krayak. I've got a marriage visa, but the marriage visa is a whole heap of paperwork because I'm married to a Thai national, obviously. And because I'm married to a Thai national, I only need to show 40,000 baht a month income method or have 400,000 baht in the bank. And as long as it's in the bank 2 months before my application, as soon as I've got my visa, I can spend all that 400,000, then put 400,000 baht back in into the bank account again 2 months before the application, or show 40,000 baht a month coming on the income method. It's crazy, isn't it? If you're married to a Thai national, you only have to have half the amount of money coming in as if you were single. But it costs you more money, I think, if you're on a marriage visa or you're married to somebody than living here as a single person. Hey ho, it is what it is. I think I've got more rights as a married person. I think one day things will change here. I mean, things are changing all the time now with visas and stuff like that. So I think at the end of the day, I'm safe with being on the marriage visa. I should have a few more rights in the long run. And it is a little bit easier coming through immigration. If I travel back to England, then I can go through the Thai family section, which cuts down an awful lot of the queues when you're going through immigration because I'm married to a Thai person. I can show my marriage visa or my visa application. So therefore you can, so it doesn't have many advantages, but that's one of the main advantages. There are rift blocking wallets that prevent any scanning of cards that are inside your wallet. Yeah, there's a card as well. I've looked on Lazada and there's like a card. It's not just a wallet, but it sits in between 2 cards and it stops them. I think they're only about 150 baht each. So I'm going to order one of them on Lazada. I watched a video the other day about them using these scanning machines and thinking, oh, wow, that's quite clever how it's done. But how many people use it to scan everything? And so it's like easy money, isn't it? You just walk past somebody with one of these scanners. And these chip and pin cards are supposed to be the really safe cards, but even they're susceptible to being scammed or scanned. And yeah, you've got to be careful, don't you? Crack marriages. I don't know. Yeah, 40,000 baht a month income method, or 400,000 baht in the bank. Not both. It's one or the other. So it's a lot easier. You don't have to show where your money's coming from if you've got 400,000 baht in the bank. Whereas because I draw an income, I've got to show where my money's come from. I've got I get a letter from my fire brigade pension provider every year to say they have provided me the pension for the past year. And I also show that my P60 that I paid tax on it. And then it comes over and they're happy with that. As long as the figures, they look at the figures that it's over 400,000 baht a year, they're happy with that. And long may it happen. The Monza metal card stop scans from working. Yeah, I think that Monzo, I think that's what Lazada is selling. 150 baht. It'd be silly not to have one of them cards, wouldn't it? I've seen the wallets as well, but I don't want to put it into a separate wallet. So yeah, there's always a way. Somebody's always going to do it, isn't there? Right, let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look at this. Okay, just a shout out and thank all the people. I must have had about 40 ebooks that I've sent out for Stop Living Paycheck to Paycheck on my latest video that I did. And I said, if anybody sends me an email, I'll send them this ebook, Stop Living Paycheck to Paycheck. Now, this is in response to, there's a fair number of people. I'm for the average working person. And if you're wealthy, this doesn't bother you. It really doesn't bother if you're a wealthy person. But I've had more people knock me from the wealthy people as opposed to like the working class people, basically saying, well, if you can't afford to live here, you shouldn't be living here. And if you can't afford to do this, blah, 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 blah. But even the poor people deserve, you know, a chance at getting something, you know, like living a comfortable life. And everything that I suggest is doable and it's all legal. I would never, ever suggest anybody to do anything illegal. So I did a video with regard to, for those people who are approaching retirement, who just got the basic state pension or they don't have a lot of money to live on. If you've got 4 or 5 years before you retire, then that's ample enough time to be able to source another income method that you can earn a little bit of money while you're retired. Now, I have done videos where I've said you can live on about £1,000 a month here, which you can. I mean, I live on £1,500 a month here in Thailand. And I mean, look at the lifestyle that I live for £1,500. So you don't need a lot of money to live here, but you do need some. Thailand is a cheap place, but it's not free. So it was an ebook that I've sent out to everybody with regard to, if you want it, have a look at it. If the information's great, fantastic. If it's no good to you, then at least you've been given some options that you can do. And I've got a few other irons in the fire, as to say, what you can do and what you can't do. And it's all to do with, you know, learning a new skill or learning a new trade or learning what some people want. Some people said to me, thanks very much, you know, for the information that you've got. And the advice that I was going to say to people, and I'll say it here, was that like the gold prospectors who dug loads and loads and loads of holes, and how many holes did they dig before they actually got any gold? But what did they have to use? They had to use a shovel. So be a shovel seller. If you sell the shovels, you're always going to get somebody come to sell something. So you look for a need and a want and provide the need to those who want it. And you'll never, ever be out of favor, because the lowels need shovels to dig for gold. So there's a moral in that story type of thing. Look for a little niche and just use that. And this book goes through various ideas of what you can do and why you can do it. And I've got other books that I'll be doing as well. And again, this is my site, ebooks available to buy me coffee. The one that I'm sending, you know, Don't Live Paycheck to Paycheck, is free for everybody who wants it. But I've got a number of keto books as well, because I've lost, originally me fattest, I was 118 kilos, and now I'm down to 92 kilos. And I sell the ebooks here on Buy Me a Coffee link, and they're only $3. So it's sort of the price of a cup of coffee. And the keto works for me. It really does. I'm 92 kilos now, and I've got a sort of goal to get down to 85. My goal was originally 90, but it's quite easy that I'm 92 now. I'm going to get down to 85, which is more sustainable, if you like. And I've never been 85 kilos. Oh, I think I was still at school and I was 85 kilos. But even at 92 kilos, this is the lightest I've been in 25 years. And I feel absolutely wonderful about it, which then comes into, like I was talking about earlier on with regard to looking after yourself health-wise. I knew I was fat. I knew I was overweight, higher blood pressure, risks of stroke and heart attack because I was overweight. So be proactive as opposed to reactive. And that's one of the things that I did. So anybody who wants to have a look at the keto books, have a look at the keto books. You know, it costs you nothing. It gives a brief description of what they are. So that's my little rant over with that type of thing. As I say, I'm here to help out anybody. And if I can give anybody any advice, I'll give people advice. Because we all want to be retired and living the dream. And we can do that over here in Thailand. So what else have we got? Let's have a look. Anybody got any questions, by the way? I know I've rambled on for quite a long time, haven't I? I've answered a few questions. Thanks for sending paycheck to paycheck, and thanks for your kind message from Brian, electrician, Basingstoke. You're more than welcome. I'm an electrician. I went back to college at the age of 42 to learn how to be, well, I always tinkered around with wiring and electrics, stuff like that. But then I had, at 42, I was 8 years away from retiring at the age of 50. And I thought, oh, a 50-year-old is still young. So I thought, I've always liked electrics. So I thought if I could work for myself, then I could do whatever hours I wanted to do it. So I went back to college for 3 years to get my City and Guilds. And my tutor said to me, what are you doing this? He said, you'll never be employed by a JIB contractor because you haven't gone through the apprenticeship role. So therefore, he said, you'll never get employed. I said, I don't want to be employed by anybody else. I said, I want to do it for myself. It's just me that's going to be employed. And I became a self-employed electrician and joined the NIEC. And for 10 years, I did the electrics and never, ever looked back. And before I retired from the fire brigade, I was earning more money as an electrician than I was actually being a firefighter on me 4 days off. I love electrics. I do like electrics. So yeah, electricians, learn a new skill. You can learn to be an electrician. If you've got 5 or 10 years or something left before you retire and earn a good income just doing it part-time. But again, it's like everything else. The paperwork, 18th edition now, it's just gone crazy. And the government did a thing as all governments do. They looked at ways at how can they make because cash in hand jobs was great. I'll put a socket at 50 quid. You didn't have to give them any paperwork or nothing. And but now the government found a way, the same as with glazing, putting double glazing in windows or putting boilers in or anything to do with plumbing. You've got to have a certificate now. Because the government said if you found that you put electrics in yourself, you could be liable to be prosecuted for putting your own electrics in. So that just at the stroke of a pen did away with all of the cash in hand jobs because everything now needs certification. The government, I tell you, the government are ingenious. They are a genius at making ways that stop people from earning a little bit of extra on the side. But Basingstoke, as an electrician, have you ever had your van broken into, Brian? I had my van broken into twice and a couple of £1,000 worth of stuff taken out both times. They're just ruthless, peeling the van doors back type of thing. I've had people come into the house I had 10 girls, was doing a rewire of a bungalow, and I had 8 to 10 girls running into this bungalow that we're working in, and the girls just said, grab anything and everything, girls, and run out with it. So I had DeWalty drills, Bosch drills, electrical testing meters, and they were just grabbing all of everything. So we slammed the door, and in the house there was an emergency siren. that the security guards, when we turned up, said, "Oh, if you have any problem, press this and we'll have security around in 10 minutes." I said, "What trouble around here?" I said, "No." I said, "I don't believe you." But when these girls came in, and I was on the phone to the police, and she said, we're going to tell the police that you were fiddling with us. We're going to tell the police that you've been trying to do things with us." And I'm talking to the policeman on the phone. I rang 999. I said, "Listen, these are the girls who are in here. You can hear the alarm going off. They're trying to rob me." And all the girls dropped all the tools, and I opened the door and they all ran off. And then the police came like 5 minutes later. Unbelievable. Bloody believable what goes on in the UK at the minute. Ed Visa, they can help with opening bank account. I can put 800k in for the first 6-9 months and more, or retirement visa. I want to learn the language. So I'll go. I wish I had a pound for every time somebody said they want to learn the language. It is very, very, very difficult to learn the Thai language. I take my hat off to you if you can learn the Thai language. Sadly, I haven't been able to do it. I've lived here for 13 years. My Thai is very, very, very basic. And occasionally I struggle trying to put my... if my wife isn't with us and I want to try and get something and sort of we get stuck, then I'll ring my wife up to translate for me over the phone. Because if I go to the DIY stores and stuff like that, my wife hates the DIY stores like I hate Big C and any shopping mall, any food shopping. So if I get stuck, I'll give her a ring and then she'll translate to the girls who are working in Thai What to Do or Home Pro. But we get by. You just get by. There's ways and means around it. But now there's these, I've seen them advertised on sort of the transmit at the same speed as somebody's talking to you. So I think within 5 years, AI technology, you'll be able to speak into a microphone or something, and it's instantly translated into whatever language you want. So it will work. It will come into fruition. The translation apps are just getting better and better as life goes on. So yeah, but I send my hat off to you. I hope you do learn the language, but it's very, very difficult. Brian, I've been doing it for 43 years, seen so many changes. Yes, full of paperwork now. Time to get to Thailand and chill. I'd go with that one as well, Brian. Well done, matey. Yes, once new brand can go off £1,500 stolen, generator nicked on a job while we were using it. Again, I was at one job, and there was a plumber. He parked his van on the driveway, and there was two of us as electricians, and then two plumbers. So what happened? These scumbags came up the drive and opened these van doors and stole some equipment out of his van. And whilst he was running after one of them to try and retrieve, somebody else came and broke into his van and stole his van. So they stole everything that he had. And he came back and he was in tears. He said he's got about £9,000 or £10,000 worth of equipment in the van. And then there was the cost of the van, another £5,000 or £6,000. So he said up to £15,000 has just gone. So he said, that's all my tools. He said, it's just been stolen. So, and he wasn't insured for it. He wasn't insured for his tools. His van was insured, but his tools weren't. So that sort of just destroyed him. It really, really destroyed him. In my early days as well, I used to do caravan servicing, and I had about £5,000 or £6,000 worth of equipment in the van, caravan servicing equipment, and the parts soon added up to that amount of money. And as it was, I didn't do the caravan servicing for very long, and I put all my stuff up for sale. And this guy who bought them off us, he just been doing caravan servicing for 6 months, and he had all of his tools nicked from his van. So he got a good deal off me, and he sort of recovered, but he had to pay twice for the same amount of stuff. So crime in the UK, again, another thing that came up on the UK news the other day, like the people who leave the pedal cycles at the railway station, if the pedal cycles get nicked, it doesn't even go down as a crime anymore. So I mean, some of the bikes can be like, you know, £600, £700, £800, but it isn't even registered as a crime anymore. Shoplifting, you don't get arrested for shoplifting, but you can get arrested for hurty words. You know, the whole country is going bananas, isn't it? Okay, let's have a look. Hi, Les. I'm 57-year-old and stopped working at 54-year-olds. Well done. I think the earlier you can retire is the better, for sure, because we all know how much money we have, but we never know how much time we have. And I'll tell you a little story. And we're going to Koh Samui for Christmas. Now, it was the first time that I went to Koh Samui, changed the whole of my life, and it changed it for the better. Because I was one of them Mr. Joneses. When I was married to the wife and I had a couple of kids, we lived in a Mr. Jones's road where everybody, if somebody bought a brand new car, it was like a domino effect. Somebody else bought one, somebody else bought one. If you got any furniture delivered, it was from a low-gold van like Barker and Stonehouse. It was sort of expected that, you know, everybody was sort of well-heeled and, you know, had the best of, and we had the best of everything as well. You know, we had a new car every 2 years, brand new caravan on the drive, blah, 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 lived well above our means. And, you know, we had 3 houses and I had a lot of debt. But I was working 7 days a week to pay for everything, with a plan that when I was 50, would have £1 million in the bank, and we'd have 10 houses. So that was my plan. Divorce scuppered all of that lot. Divorce destroyed all of that lot. But it's whilst I was going through the divorce, I came to Thailand, and my friend took me to Koh Samui, and I met a girl on Koh Samui, and long story short, we were sat outside this lake, and she lived in like a garage overlooking the lake, and there was like 7 or 8 garages that were there, and the guy was a chef at a hotel. He came back and he cooked a meal. There was 8 of us by the end of the evening. He got his guitar out and started playing songs and singing, and everybody was Thai but me. And it was like maybe half a dozen other girls all sat around eating the meals, and I was welcomed with open arms to be there. And I sat where I was, and that was the enlightening moment, thinking these people here have nothing, absolutely nothing. It was beautiful, it was warm, we watched the sun go down over the lake, and I'm thinking these people with nothing are more happy than me living where I did. So that was the day that my life changed, and I came back to England and readjusted everything, looked at everything through different eyes, and realized that chasing the dream of being rich and, you know, having more houses, more properties, more best cars was just a fool's paradise, really, at the end of the day. Because it doesn't matter how wealthy you are, there's always somebody more wealthy than you. And trying to climb the ladder of promotion and stuff like that, when you're looking upwards, you just see the backsides of others. And it's a dog-eat-dog world, and the niceties of everybody just disappears. And that changed my life. So I had a better view, and I live in Thailand now. And Thailand isn't a third world country where people say it's a third world country. It's a wonderful country. And generally, people are more happy here than anywhere else in the world. I live in a beautiful village. I live in friendly, happy people. You hear people laughing and joking all the time. It's fantastic. It really, really is. There's me singing the praises of Thailand again. What you forgot to mention, Les, is post-mortem is required, which is done in Bangkok to find out what the cause of death was. My friend passed away recently and was mandatory. Uh, yeah, yeah, I agree. I don't know about taking you to Bangkok. I thought any hospital could do a post-mortem, but I'll take your word for it. No problem. I've loved every moment over the past 12 months living in Rayong, and you've been a great help, Les. Moving up to Khon Kaen Monday, 13th. I'd like to take you and play for a small meal as a thank you. Oh, thanks very much for that. So you're going on the 13th. Ah, well done. Yeah, anytime. As I say, we're going away on the 21st. So, well, best wishes, Jackson, for moving up to Khon Kaen. Khon Kaen's a nice place. There's some beautiful Tamna Park market on a night time is good. There's a beautiful little private zoo there with pot-belly pigs and just look like big guinea pigs. I forget what they're called, but it's a lovely place. I've been up there twice, and you won't be disappointed with Khon Kaen. It's nice. A little bit far from the beach, but I'm sure we'll enjoy it. Thanks very much. I'm glad you've enjoyed the past 12 months here anyway. It's been a pleasure. Hi, Les. I'm late to the chat. Been down the allotments. Oh, nothing wrong with being down the allotments. A man in his shed. The shed always comes first. There's a guy that I follow, Kenny, from let's have a look, from Paradise in Thailand. Have a look at his channel. He's an American guy. He's got a nice big house, nice big plot of land, and he's building a shed. And I follow him because he's building a shed. And I said, the most important thing you've got to get is the kettle and the chair, because the shed has got a beautiful view. And it'd be just nice just to sit there and just admire the views in his shed. But again, he's doing everything. He's a very handy guy, and he builds things. And I've been following him because I've just bought a welder and I'm starting a small workshop here. And he's done all of this on his own, which is fantastic. And I like anything DIY. And another guy that I follow is Ben from living in Thailand. I felt sorry. Well, I felt for him the other day. He lives on a huge piece of land. And he says, sometimes you just get up and it's just like daunting, the amount of work. And to do it all by yourself is a terrible thing, because it's just never ending. So have a look at them two, Kenny in Paradise in Thailand and Ben living in Thailand. Two fantastic. They're two of my favourite, because they do sort of DIY stuff. Certainly Kenny does. And Ben is just comical. And he lives in a beautiful house. He lives off grid. Everything's to do with solar. But his land's flooded at the minute. He's going through a bit of a hard time. But he'll get over it. Like I said to him, I said, 11 months you live in paradise, and we have 1 month of bad rain, which that's the price to pay for living 11 months in paradise. So two nice guys. And again, I watch their channels. Every time the video comes on, I watch them. The other one to watch is Welsh Win in Pattaya, especially the last one that he did with regard to going to the hospital for his health check. So that's the shout out to three different guys if you want to watch other people's videos. Scott, oh, hello there, Scott. I know it's been a month, hasn't it, since I've been on here. Hi, Les, looking well from New Zealand. Thanks very much. I'm looking well and feeling well. Again, I've lost from 106 down to 92 kilos, and another 7 kilo to go. Then I'm all over the moon. And I'll drop that 7 kilo before Christmas when we go down to Koh Samui and Koh Lanta for the Christmas and New Year. Looking so much towards that. Question, are there any budget hotels to suggest in Rayong whilst do research, and any area to suggest for living there? Thanks, Les, always. Yeah, there's some lovely budget hotels. Now, there's some hotels that are actually overlooking the sea, up by us where we are, and they're about 600 to 1,000 baht a night. The other Stories, have a look at Stories. Stories is close to Banpay. They're on booking.com as well. Stories, beautiful beds, beautiful place, nice buffet breakfast with a swimming pool. That's a nice place to stay. But if you're living in the Rayong area, certainly up towards where we are, with Swanson Beach, Melonpun Beach, and Lee May Pim, you need transport for sure to get around. But it's a lovely area. But I'm just trying to think of the other place as well. It's gone. The other place is gone. But yeah, Stories is well worth a stay. And it ranges from 800 to 1,200 baht a night at Stories. And the breakfast is very, very nice. People who I've sent there have never been disappointed. And if you want to stop for a month, just around the corner from us, there's a 2-bedroom bungalow with a communal pool, and that's 12,000 a month. It's very, very pretty. And there's our landlady, funny enough, she's just had another house renovated. It's just up there, literally 150 meters away from where we are, and that's going to run out at about 15,000 baht a month. Now, our landlady does some beautiful houses, and they are reasonably priced. You know, if you live there for 6 months or a year. My friend who's just sent me a message today, he's moving out on the 13th. That house is just coming up for rent. Again, I've done a video, so have a look at that. This is what 18,000 baht a month gets you. And that's a 2-bedroom house, big gardens. And you get included in the price is the gardener who does all the garden work for you. So yeah, Rayong is a beautiful area. The area that where we live, Swanson Beach, upwards towards Lee May Pim is beautiful. I live literally 8 minutes away from a beautiful beach, some nice restaurants. So yeah, you won't be disappointed with Rayong. Have a look at Stories first. That's sort of close to Macro and Lotus if you want to pop in to get some shopping and things like that. So yeah, or just send me an email and I'll give you. The Barong Resort. That's the other one. Have a look at the Barong Resort. That's nice, and that's about the same price as well. But again, beautiful rooms and a beautiful swimming pool. And if you want to buy the Barong Resort, it's up for sale for about 22 million baht. Okie dokie. I get your point, Les, about your story on life-changing events. Yeah, so sometimes, you know, things happen for a reason. I'm not bitter about getting divorced. I was at the time. Everybody that goes through divorce feels hurt and betrayed, and but you just get over it. It's, you know, you've got time to recover when you're 40s, 50s. But when you're in your 60s and happen, again, these are the type of things that can destroy your retirement. Divorce. So many people have got divorced. Again, as you can imagine, I talk to many, many people. So many people have got divorced because they've retired and they're at home more, so they get on the wife's nerves, and it sort of destroys their day-to-day living because now you're there, and the women always come off better off than the guys. You know, especially if they haven't worked, you know, they've been a housekeeper, therefore they haven't contributed towards their pension, state pension. So therefore, you will become liable to giving them enough money so they can retire. It's all weighted towards the guy. So it's a big, heavy hit if you get a divorce in the 60s, because you don't really have the time to recover like you do in your 30s, 40s, and 50s. So be careful about getting divorced when you reach the older lifestyle, because it is a heavy, heavy hit. Keith Johnson, you're so wise. Thanks very much. I don't think why. I think life experiences and what I've seen and what I've done. You know, I've traveled the world, and travel opens your eyes. again, I've been around the world and I've seen many things, and there's many things that you can do. You know, I was on a bus in Vietnam for 6 hours talking to these guys, and we never stopped talking to each other. And he opened my eyes with regard to travel and working. There's a couple of companies called Helpex and Workaway where you can work anywhere in the world for like 4 or 5 hours a day, and you get free accommodation and free food. So that's the biggest part of traveling anywhere, isn't it? You get the weekends off, you work 5 days a week, 4 or 5 hours a day, doing whatever you want, you know, whatever skills you've got. Because I was an electrician, I could pick and choose where I wanted to go. And I worked in some beautiful chateaus. I've worked in some beautiful bed and breakfasts in France and in Italy. In Italy, I looked after, he was a retired judge, she was a retired barrister. So that sort of gives you the idea of wealth that they had in the house. I looked after their cat for 3 months in Orvieto, Italy. For 3 months, we lived for free in their house. We had to buy our own food, and that was the only disadvantage with that one. But 3.5 months in a stunningly beautiful house. We had it to ourselves for 3.5 months. Fantastic. So these are the things that opened my eyes. Helpex and Workaway, and also, you know, house sitting and things like that. It really, really is a good lifestyle. And the guy that I was speaking to on the bus, him and his wife had never worked for 17 years, and that's all they did, travel around the world. They had the regular people at the house sitted for, pet sitted for, did various work around the, you know, properties, because he was a bit of a DIYer and he was quite good at it. So he said, I've never had to work for 17 years. Fantastic. He opened my eye tremendously. So these are the type of things that traveling around gets you. It's brilliant. Greetings from Minnesota. Hello, Minnesota. Thanks very much for joining, Keith. Hi, what's Charm like? Charm is okay. It's a lot cheaper to live in Charm than Hua Hin. It's a bit more quieter, but I think out of the two, Hua Hin has got more to offer. It's about 25-30 kilometers away from Hua Hin is Charm. It's sort of the poor version, if you like, of Hua Hin. But it's got a nice beach, and it's affordability to live there. You know, it's sort of not tourist area, but it's close to the tourist area. Post-mortem requires before death certificate is issued. Only one death certificate is issued. Oh, you can only get one. I thought you might be able to get copies of it. Well, again, I might be wrong with that then, but even if you take photocopies of it, because every man and his dog will want a death certificate. Use my Tello for cheap calls. I'll write that down as well. Tello, I've not heard of that one. Tello. That's another one I'll look at, because I'm looking for a cheap way to be able to ring the UK, because I want to pester the tax people again. Les, you skipped my comment about the fire. Oh, I missed it. It must have scrolled up. So what was the comment about the fire brigade? Sorry if I've missed it. Sometimes my answers are long-winded, and as it scrolls up, I'm not a woman. I can't do two things at once. So if I've missed it, what was your comment about the fire brigade again? And I'll go through that again. Had 2 viewings of the house this morning. Pim's houses don't sit empty long, so well looked after, decorated, and yeah, houses go very, very quickly. I think I've had over 3,000 views on that video, and a couple of people said, you know, they're not coming till January, February, otherwise they would have moved straight into it. Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, she doesn't sit around, does Pim, like the houses as soon, because they are such good quality and good value. Gaz Young, question, hi Les D. Thank you, Les, about the advice for Charm. This is, yeah, Charm is good. We went there once. we didn't stay there because we were in Hua Hin, and I just thought it was sort of a little bit run down. Hi Les, I see your landlady rents houses, but does she? No, she doesn't sell them. She doesn't sell them. She sort of collects them. I think she's got about 13 or 14 houses in this village where I live at the minute. So it goes to show what a nice village it is. If she's invested that amount of money on 12 or 13 houses just in this village area, they are beautiful houses and they are done to a high standard. I was lucky that I bought this house off her on a rent to buy scheme. And I've known Pim now for 12 years and maybe it's 11 years. And I put her houses on YouTube as well. And we've got her a few rentals just by putting her houses up for rent on YouTube. But yeah, it's good. She doesn't sell them now. She collects them. We've got some land next door to us as well that belongs to her daughter. So she owns a lot of buildings and a lot of land in this village. And as Jackson said there, you know, they are done to a high standard. So they're never empty for long. So, okay. So where else have we got? Let's have a read through the comments. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, right, let's have a look. DTV. Oh, we've covered most things. Now. So welding. Any welders out there? I got me welder out of the box yesterday, and I'm playing around with the welder, and I've made a video about it. And I've never, ever done welding in my life. So I've watched a number of YouTube videos and I've watched a number of things. And my friend Dave from up in Surin, he suggested Delton. Delton tools are very good. So I bought a Delton welder. And now we're buying a Delton welder. I've looked on YouTube to see how we use, and it's all in Thai. And it wasn't an expensive welder, but the instruction book isn't worth the paper it's wrote on. It really, really isn't. It's so bad. The instructions, it doesn't tell you what to put the settings with. So when I was welding some scrap pieces of metal, it was spitting, it was balling, it wasn't very good at all. Voltage settings, ampage settings, stuff like that. It wasn't very good. And I tried a little bit on 2 pieces of metal box section, and it put holes in the thinner metal. So maybe the temperature was too hot or something like that. But I've been looking all over YouTube this morning for welding, for what set your voltages, and yeah, it's very difficult. And so yeah, if anybody's got any advice that they can send me through on the email, I'm going to have a play around with it again tomorrow, because I'm making my workbench now, I'm making it steady, and I'm putting some metal supports around it so I can hang some doors off it and make it into cupboards so we can store stuff in it as well. But yesterday was and it's the only thing I've really failed at the minute for getting a grasp of it, because what settings you put it on for wire speed, and the setting is MIG welding, by the way. The machine that I've got is a 3-in-1, but I'm just wanting to do it for the MIG welding because it looks so simple. And like I said, with Kenny for Paradise in Thailand, he's welded all of his shed together, and it's just zzz, and I think, oh, that looks simple, that looks good. So yeah. Keith Johnson, good luck with the welding. Yes, thanks very much. Rule Britannia, thanks from Australia. Les, have you been to the Philippines? No, I've never been to the Philippines. I've got a few friends who've been to the Philippines and coming over here, and they said if the Thai people could speak English at the same extent as what the Filipinos can, Thailand would be a wonderful place in heaven, because it's far more commercialized, far more infrastructure, far better than the Philippines. But he found a struggle to talk to the Thai ladies in English, because they had a better understanding of English in the Philippines than they do in Thailand. So it sort of swings and roundabouts in it. So I've never been to the Philippines. It's probably on my list where I want to go, because there's some beautiful islands there. There are lots of many islands. So we'll get there one day and I'll go and see how it is. But the things on the negative sides with the Philippines, that crime is more prevalent there than it is here. There's one guy said to me, he said he left the Philippines for 6 months and he went over, he left Thailand for 6 months and he went to the Philippines for 6 months to see whether he likes it or not. And when he come back, his answer was, he said, if I'd left anything in my garden for 6 months, he said, when I came back to Thailand, it'd still be there. He said, where he lived in the Philippines, if he left anything in his garden for 6 minutes, it'd be gone. So sadly, he seemed to think that the crime was bad, and drugs is bad in the Philippines. I don't know. I suppose it's like everywhere else, areas and areas. But I've got to say, even walking around in Bangkok at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I've never, ever felt threatened. So you imagine walking around in London now, you know, there's so much crime going on in London. If you carry walking around with a phone or a decent watch, you're a target. Walk around with anything in your hand, you're a target. Whereas I've walked around with my GoPro 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, with, you know, on my phone, looking at the GPS for the maps to walk home. Never, ever, ever felt threatened. And that's one beautiful thing about living in Thailand, is that you just feel much, much safer. And I feel much, much safer here. What metal is it? Does it need grinding, clean? Yeah, it's galvanized metal. It's 25 by 25 millimeter box, and it's quite thick material as well, because I'm going to make a garden bench out of it. But I'm just putting a frame around my table first to give it some rigidity. So yeah, I've cut the ends off and I've like sort of tapered it so there's a bit of a V in it, if you like, and where it should puddle the wire. It's a gas-free welder. I mean, I had the voltage set up to like 170 to 200 volts, because I'm thinking, oh, well, that's maybe, you know, the 240 volts that's coming through the system. But, you know, looking onto the many YouTube videos or watching, nothing to do with that. Maybe it was too hot and that's why it would burn a hole in the metal. And some of the people, although it's very difficult to find what settings you put it on, when I seen some of the Thai ones, it was set at only 30 volts. And then it's to do with the speed of, although it says amps, that means it's the speed of the wire coming through. So who knows? As I said, I'm playing around with it. I've got a few bits of scrap metal that I'll play around with tomorrow and see if we can get things going. Hello, Dave. Hello, Les. Thought I'd pop in. What time are we at now? 4th. Oh, you must have had your nap now then, have you, Dave? I've never been able to do that. I know you commented on my hammock the other day, Brack. It's very, very rarely that I fall asleep on my hammock. I just watch the clouds go by and listen to the music and that. And it's just a nice feeling laying on the hammock. Many guys, when I worked at the fire brigade, used to have the lunch and go for like 40 winks, have an afternoon nap. I could never do that. I'm just too interested in what's going on. So I've never, ever been able to nap on an afternoon. But many people say it's a good idea to have an afternoon nap when you get to our type of age. I've done it once or twice, fell asleep through exhaustion. But when I wake up after an hour, 2 hours, I feel feel worse than I did when I went to bed. So I always keep going all the time. So here we are, 4:30 now in the afternoon. So we've been doing it for an hour and 40 minutes. An hour and 40 minutes. So what have you been up to today then, Dave? Anything or nothing? Did you manage to sell the rest of your back box brackets? Did you manage to solve the problem? Dave is another guy from Canada. Retire, don't give up. Have a look at his channel as well. Again, he's been here for just over a year now. He's married to a Thai lady up in Pear. So he lives sort of in the countryside. So his videos are well worth looking at. He lives the life of in the countryside, if you like, more remote than me. And again, I've known Dave for just over a year and a half. And he's a nice guy. So yeah, have a look at his channel. There you go, Dave. You can send me the $10 later on for plugging your channel. I didn't sell any more. Okay, right. Yeah, Dave he's got an ADV. Is it ADV 350 or a Forza 350? I forget which one it was now. Yeah, so he made some brackets because of the back boxes they had. You could buy the back boxes, but you couldn't, or you struggled to find the brackets. So Dave uses ingenuity, and he actually got some made. So, and he used to sell them. So the back boxes look fantastic, but imagine buying the back boxes then not being able to buy the brackets. So Dave sort of filled that gap, and he got the brackets made, and he was selling them also. Yeah, ADV 350, yeah. Well done, yeah. John C. Halos, I'm 68 and fed up with life in the UK. Where would you suggest I visit as a first-time trip to Thailand? I've seen a few videos on Pattaya and Hua Hin so far. Well, it depends what you want, John. 68-year-old, funds as well. It depends on how much fun, whether you like the course, whether you like the mountains, countryside, things like that. What time of year you're gonna visit? I mean, like now we're coming to October. We're coming up to high season, so basically Thailand is the best to visit during the high season, which is like November till March. Because it sounds cool. It's still bloody hot, but it's cooler season than the hot season. And we've just got rid of the rainy season, or it's just on its way out. So therefore, it's up to you really. But I would say if you like the entertainment, the nighttime entertainment, and the ladies, Pattaya is fantastic. It's like I still call it Pinocchio land, because there's a price to pay to go to Pattaya. It can destroy you, but it can also make you a fantastic holiday atmosphere and feeling like, wow, you know, there's no other place like it on earth than Pattaya. But if you're not bothered about the nightlife and stuff like that, then Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, Pai is fantastic. I like Pai. Down to Hua Hin. If you go down to Phuket, stunningly beautiful it is, but it's full of the Ruskies. The Ruskies are spoiling it for everybody. Koh Samui is a beautiful island. We're going there for Christmas, and then we're going to Koh Lanta for New Year. So that's like a 14-hour drive from where we are. But you're sort of spoiled for choice, really. It's really up to you. You know, countryside or seaside. Thailand does it all. It really does. Yeah, Pattaya is Disneyland for adults. Yeah, it is. But it's like eventually Disneyland, once you've seen it all, it's all the same. Mickey Mouse is the same as Mickey Mouse no matter where you go around the world. And same as with Pattaya. Once you've been called a sexy man in Pattaya, you're a sexy man everywhere. Bangsaray, nice place, beach area, yeah, that's sort of far enough away from the madness. Same as John TM. If you want to get out of the madness, but the madness is on your doorstep. Jomtien a lovely place. I lived in Jomtien for 2 years, and I liked it. I lived in a condo, reasonably priced, on the Baht bus route, and it took like 20 minutes to get into the center of Pattaya, and it's like 40 baht to get back, 20 baht to get there, 40 baht to get back home. I like pie, different type. Yeah, pie is sort of like the hippie, laid back, friendly, beautiful place. Chiang Rai is boring. I quite like Chiang Rai. Again, as a tourist, maybe living there might be different, but as a tourist, I proposed to my wife in Chiang Rai. We went to the tea farm in Chiang Rai. I proposed to my wife there, and then we stayed in a beautiful mountain resort, spectacular views, stunningly beautiful. So Chiang Rai, I've had some happy memories in Chiang Rai. Very, very nice. Kanchanaburi and Erawan. Kanchanaburi is the bridge over the River Kwai, stunningly beautiful. We stayed on the float house, and we stayed on another, I forget what it's called. But the place that we stayed on the river, on the River Kwai, I kept coming back to the photographs, and the photographs were spectacularly beautiful, but it had no electricity, no air conditioning, no internet, nothing. And but the photographs were wonderful. And I said to my wife, I said, listen, I said, this keeps coming up. It looks stunningly beautiful, but it's got no electricity, no fans, no air conditioning. Oh, she said, I don't know. So anyway, the photographs swung it, and we stayed there for 2 nights. Spectacularly beautiful, and that was 3,500 baht a night at the time. And then we went to the float house, which was most expensive, 5,500 baht a night. But the place was like the inside of it. Oh wow, this is beautiful, 5,500 baht a night. And we went there, and we were there only for 5 or 10 minutes. And we said if we had the choice, we'd go back to the other place without the electricity or the air conditioning, because it was stunningly beautiful. And it was more beautiful than the float house with the stunningly beautiful rooms. So yeah, Kanchanaburi, we've been there a few times, and we've stayed on the river, on the float houses, and we've had some good fun down there. Bridge over the River Kwai, spectacularly beautiful area. Peo is beautiful. I've never been to there. The tea farm was very nice. Visited there during June while on holidays. Again, as I said, you're spoiled for choice visiting Thailand, because there's that much stunningly beautiful place. It really, really is nice. So do your research. Have a look at YouTube. YouTube for Thailand is just anywhere and everywhere is good. Paddy Doyle, have a look at Paddy Doyle. He's been to all 77 provinces in Thailand, and he's done some cracking videos on everywhere that he's been. He does he does some great videos, and he's very, very good. And yeah, Paddy Doyle, have a look at his videos. Okay, doggies. So, okay, right, we've been at it for 2 hours now. So unless anybody's got any other questions, have a look at my other videos. And if you haven't subscribed yet, give it a subscribe and thumbs up. I don't know how many thumbs up I've got, but let's see if we can get some thumbs up. So thanks very much, everybody, for watching. I always enjoy these live streams, and I hope I can be useful and give you the answers that you want. So send me an email if anybody wants to know anything, lesliepearson58@yahoo.com, and I'll answer the questions if I can. So on that note, we'll say thank you very much, and I'll catch you in a couple of weeks' time. So thanks very much for watching.